Hello, and welcome to Word of Hope. I'm Brother Joe Trout, coming to you for Tuesday of the 22nd week in Ordinary Time. J.R.R. Tolkien, the author of The Lord of the Rings, had an essay that he wrote on fairy stories. This is his kind of theory of what fantasy literature is all about and what he's doing within these works. It has a couple different criteria for what make for good fantasy fairy stories. And one of them is that a good story ought to have a sense of recovery. That when you read this work of art, it should help you to recover a sense of how things actually are in the real world. That an author is, as he describes it, a sub-creator, someone who has taken the created world of God and made something new out of it, something different. But when we read that sub-creation, that story, it should show us something about what actually is real. And in his stories, one of the things that comes across really clearly is a big sense of all of the different pieces of the world that he's built. You have elves and men and all of these other things. If you read the Silmarillion, all these other stories he's written, there's all kinds of categories of creatures beyond the hobbits and the men and the elves and the dwarves. Right? It's a big and really metaphysically vast universe. Lots of variety to it. What does he think we're supposed to recover from that? Well, as I mentioned yesterday, this is what humility grounds us in. A sense of the bigness of the world and that human beings are one piece of God's whole puzzle. We see that today in the gospel regarding demons. Demons are something that are complicated to think about, right? There's been a recent trend in biblical studies to, kind of eliminate demons and say they're always just mental illness, that this isn't necessarily something real. There's a lot of doubt about the existence of evil spirits that has gone on in particularly liberal Protestantism, but it's filtered into a lot of Catholic thought as well. Demons aren't real, right? On the other hand, there's a big trend of fascination with exorcists. There's a lot of popular exorcists with YouTube channels and people talking about demons are real. And a fixation on that. I would say, yes, there's something of which we should be recovering from this story about the reality of the vastness of this universe. We are a piece of God's puzzle, and it's arrogant to think that it's all about us. But the hope in this story is that we don't have to worry about them. Christ has conquered them. That in the name of Christ, we do not need to be concerned about these evil spirits when we pursue him and trust him and follow after him. The world is so much bigger and vaster than we tend to think of it, and yet we have hope and confidence in Jesus Christ, that in the midst of a perilous world, we have confidence in God's love and his support, and trust in the kingdom to come. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.